to the Kimberly Lovey podcast. We are recording live from the Lovey Shack, and I have one of my dear friends, Miss Ashley White, here with me, and she is beautiful, and she is a fellow mom, and our sons are best friends. And so I just wanted to say thank you for being here, Ashley.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Are you nervous?
Yes, I'm very nervous, but I'm excited. I've never done anything like this.
Well, listen, we are popping your podcast cherry. Okay, you guys, it is 10:15 and I poured my sweet Ashley a little glass of Shams, and I'm sitting here sober and fat, by the way. Okay, pregnant AF. 37 weeks, 30 pounds up. And don't tell me I look good, because that's enabling me.
No. Do you say 37 weeks?
20.
Oh, I was like, wait. Yes,
37?
I was like, wait. You're 37?
I'm 27 weeks. Okay, to be clear.
I mean, you are not fat.
No, I'm going to start lying and saying I'm 37. So
people are going to be like, dang.
One of my best friends, she's like, can I admit something to you? I'm like, what? She's like, okay, so, my daughter's like a year and a half, and people, when I'm out, they'll ask me, how old is your child? And I'll lie and say 8 months because my postpartum body's not back yet.
Hey, I would do it too.
Oh my God, this is brilliant. I'm going to remember that for this one.
Yes.
Okay. So Ashley is here because I was dying to get Ashley here because her and I are kind of like, dare I say, basketball moms?
Oh, we're for sure basketball moms.
We are? Like
Yes.
officially?
Yes.
Oh my God, I love it. Oh, we can name the episode Basketball Moms? ?
Yes. I think that will work.
For sure. So, okay. So the reason why I wanted you on, Ash, is because, okay, I like to be real about pretty much everything, but it all started with my little, I don't want to say mathlete, but he's kind of, let's just say, okay, Carter's not, I don't want to speak ill of my kids or anything, but I'm being totally honest, is like, our kids have strengths and weaknesses. And yes. I'll just say, I think Charlotte might be more of my coordinated one. Mm-hmm. And in starting our athletic journey, I'll call it, with Carter, it hasn't been what I thought it was going to be, like, at all. I thought it was going to be amazing when I first started him out in sports, and it just has been more challenging than I thought. So it all started when we started him in flag football. I just picked a random sport. We did I-9, which we can tell the people what I-9 is, which is basically like a non-competitive, like 6-7 week league, just to kind of sample. It's like a way to sample a sport without like going all in. And it's just exposure, right? Would you say? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Except basketball.
Well,
it's real competitive.
Well, that kind of took a turn, which we can definitely get into. So I'm thinking this is going to be great. I played sports growing up, and you, when you were growing up, what sports did you play? Tell us.
Basketball, softball, and water polo.
Damn, girl. Okay. I played soccer and volleyball.
Yeah.
So, as a competitive mom, I don't want to put pressure on my kid, but I still want them to do relatively well. Like, I want them to enjoy it and be in the game, they don't need to be the star, right?
Just get them out there to do something.
Exactly. And Carter's been in karate over the pandemic, but that's like a single person sport. And I'm like, he really needs to have a team of guys, and he has sisters, and I don't know. It was just important for me to get him in some kind of team sport. So we start him off in flag football. Literally, the first game was a disaster. Keep in mind, one of my best friends, okay, I'm not going to name names, but if she listens, because she does listen to this podcast, she is on her team with the Rams, the Rams kids, okay? The quarterback from the Rams, his kids, okay? Gosh. Yeah. Their other friend is an MLB pro. And then her daughter my friend's daughter is a insane athlete. There's just some of those kids, there's just kids that they're just naturally this girl, literally crushes everybody. Okay. This little girl who is Carter's age. Okay. So you've got that team going on next to us, literally. And they're like, oh, this is the best thing ever. And they're having the best time. And here comes my son. He literally cannot pull a flag to save his life. He doesn't understand which direction to go.
Yeah.
And he ends up storming off the field, screaming and crying, where it was like, it wasn't just like, oh, he's upset, oh, console him. It was a scene. Like, everyone's like, what is going on?
Yep. We knew that happened with Jaden too. We'll get to that, but that happened with Jaden too.
Yeah. And so I have to tell you, and I don't mean, I know like now just a short couple months looking back at, like, I have a different perspective, which is why I do want to talk about this, but I just was honestly devastated because, like, this sounds so dramatic, but I have to say this was like the worst day of parenting of my life. Like, I was so upset for how bad that went. Like, it was devastating for me. I don't even have words. I was so disappointed in him. I was disappointed in me. I didn't know how to handle it. And I just felt like the reason why I wanted to bring you on is because I'm like, how come no one tells you this shit? No one's talking about this. No moms are sitting there having a real discussion about what it really looks like to introduce your kids to sports. And I don't understand why, because let me tell you, it's a journey. It's an emotional journey.
Yep. And we don't realize, but we went through that as kids, but we don't remember it. No. So our parents had to deal with it too. And how did they handle it? Like, we don't know.
No one.
Yeah,
no one.
Yeah. So we go into.
Call my mom.
I know. Right. I'm thinking maybe I should have asked my mom before I came on this. But we go into this and we're starting this sport. And then all of a sudden, our kids maybe hate it. Maybe they're going to love it. We don't know. They get frustrated. Like Jaden at basketball stormed off the court crying. And thank God for that coach that gave him the sportsmanship award, because he would have not came back the next week.
Okay, so let's talk about it. So then what happened was we barely made it through flag football. Okay, barely. This child did not want to go every week, but I will say he did finally understand the concept of, like, we had to literally sit him down. First of all, I called my old nanny crying and I was like, Becky, this was horrible. Like, and she'll come on the podcast. She's amazing. Everybody knows that. And anyone that knows me knows about Becky, but she's like my secret mom weapon because she knows everything. And so I called her, like, so upset. And she's like, okay, sit him down, get him to watch like a simple, like a professional game, just one play, and then pause it and then show him how, you know, not every, because Carter was feeling like he failed because if he didn't pull a flag, he thought that meant he like ruined the game. He didn't understand that, number one, it's not all about him. It's not on his shoulders alone to like make a play. And that was one big point. And then the second thing he didn't understand was that it's a series of plays, right? A game is a collection of plays, right? And so we had to sit him down and get him to see that, look, not every play, every professional person, you know, pulls a flag or makes a great play, or else it wouldn't be a game, right? And so that was valuable, I guess, for him.
Yeah. And I did the same with Jaden with basketball. We watched basketball game right when we got home from the first game, and I showed him how a guy missed a shot, and then somebody would get the rebound, and I told him, you're not going to make every shot. That's the whole point of the game. You have to defend the players so they don't make a shot. That's what makes the game. So I think it's the whole learning process, because sometimes they just get thrown into a sport and they're like, they don't know what's supposed to happen, and so it could be frustrating for them. And
Totally.
And I get it, because it was frustrating for me to watch, you know, because coming from like playing sports, I'm sitting there like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. Like, I just want to get out there and play for them.
Like screaming at our poor kids.
I know. They're like, I don't know what's going on. So I think that they go into it not knowing it's a scary feeling for these kids. So us parents, we just have to be supportive of it and understand their feelings, and don't be the crazy parents that are like, you have to do this, you need to do this. Like, you need to just coach them through it. So us showing them the certain professional sports plays and like showing them how they mess up too. And it's okay that, oh, see, they threw the ball away. That's okay. Oh, see, they didn't get that tackle, or they didn't catch the ball. It's okay, because those people do it professionally and still make mistakes.
Yep.
It's the whole point of the game. And that's what it was important. I found with Jaden doing is teaching him that is like, you have to watch and see, this is what these people do, and it's okay. So if you don't do it, then that's fine. It's the whole
Totally.
point. Because these kids get so hard on themselves.
They do. And I was just going to say that too. Ashley was like, it was so basically what happened was, after football, I looked at kind of the next set of, okay, what other sports can we?
What's our other options?
I was like, nope, not returning to flag football. What's next?
Yeah.
So I went back to the I-9 website and found the next thing available was I-9, again, non-competitive basketball. And so I was like, okay, you know, Jaden's not in anything. Would he want to join us for that? Because that's the next sport. And so he joined, and it was just so great because it was great for me, not for you, by the way.
It was quite an experience the first game. I went home and wanted to cry. It was horrible. I was like, come on. Because it's hard when you're an athlete yourself and you're watching your child struggle with a sport that you can do. So it's frustrating because you just want to help them, but they also don't learn that well from the parent. I know that sounds horrible. Like, I feel like as a parent, we should be able to, but kids learn better from other people when it comes to stuff like that. So it was frustrating for me because I just wanted to go outside with them and get a basketball and be like, dribble the damn ball, you know, like, and I can't do that because he'll get mad at me and then I don't want to get frustrated with him. So I was like, you have to just be patient. But one thing we have that I thought was the best thing for Jaden and probably Carter was having the friends. When we signed them up together, it was Jaden's motivation because some days he would go, I don't want to go today. And I said, well, Carter's going to be there. Yep. And he's like, okay, well, then let's go. Like, having that friend and that special person, and even us, we had each other to deal with this season through because it was, let me tell you, it was a tough one. Last game's today. Woo! But
no offense, Coach Trey. We love you, darling.
Yeah. But if we didn't have each other, I don't know if I would probably have been like, I'm out.
But I need support.
Yes, but we need to one thing I told Jaden is you signed up for this. You're finishing this season. I don't care if you don't like it. You have to be committed to something you signed up for.
Totally.
Because that's so important. He can't just sign up for things and just quit. Because my kid, like yours is an athlete. Mine loves art. He's an artist. He just wants to do art all day long, where his dad and I are both athletes. So we're like, wait, you don't want to do this? But he's very athletic. Jaden's very athletic, very coordinated and everything. But his main thing he wants to do right now is art. And we have to respect that.
Yeah.
And push him towards that.
Yes.
Because that's something he's great at. So sports, we're still going to try to figure out. Basketball, I think he'll like it. Maybe not right now.
Put it on pause.
Yeah. We're going to do a little pause after this season, but maybe go back in a couple of years. But when he wants to do it, I'm not going to just put him in it again, and we're going to do sports. I think track's next.
I think track's next. Because, and your point about having a friend. So Brian and I had an actual sit down powwow. I was like, what are we going to do? I really want I want Carter in some kind of team sport. And look, it's not that I need my child to get some full ride scholarship or be a professional NBA superstar or anything. I just want him to get a date.
Yeah.
I just want him to have fun and confidence and friends, you know?
Yes.
And so we literally sat down after football and I'm like, this was a disaster. And to your point, it's so frustrating and crushing, but you also have to accept who your kids are. And so Brian said exactly what you said, Ashley. He's like, I think the key is getting a friend with him so that he's more comfortable and more excited and feels like he has that person. And that's exactly why when we were talking and you're like, oh, Jaden's not in anything, I was like, maybe this is a perfect opportunity for them to just try something new together and be totally new and safe.
Yeah.
But it was so fascinating watching Jaden, and it was so, again, made me feel so much better because he literally had the same response to being new at a sport that Carter did. They both struggled with the same things, the concepts, right? And these are smart kids. Our kids are not, they're not dumb kids. It's just, it goes to show you as a parent, they don't know anything yet. This is their chance to learn it. And that's why you're here.
Well, and they already have something they're really good at. So even Jaden with his art, he is so hard on himself. And that's just the way he is. He's if he messes up, he'll be like, oh my gosh, and crumble the paper. And I try to help him with that. But it's the same thing with sports. So going into it, not knowing anything, and they're getting frustrated because they just automatically want to be great at something.
Yep.
Because they're already good at whatever they are. That's their thing. Jaden likes art and Carter likes studying. Yeah. I'm like, I'm studying. I don't know what is it.
Transformers.
Yeah. Transformers. So it's like
come on, ladies.
They focus on what they're great at. And so when you join something new, even as an adult, if I try something new, I'm frustrated.
Totally.
So these little kids are still trying to figure out their emotions and how to process. So their reactions are way different than as us adults can handle it.
Totally.
So what we have to, as parents, what I had to learn the hard way is figuring out how to talk to Jaden about it and how to process that. Like he would get mad. Oh, I didn't score a basket. Oh, the ball got stolen. And these kids were 5-year-old starting kids playing in a group of 8-year-olds that have been playing since they were probably 5. And our kids have done great. They've gotten so much better. They've done so, it's been great.
It's been awesome.
But for the first couple times, I think it was so hard for them because they're playing, they're not really getting understanding. But now they are. Carter seems to love basketball.
Well,
is he liking the new one?
He was doing karate the last game at AYBA in our new league, and I wanted to choke him. Literally, I was so mad. And I was like, where's Ashley? We need to talk about this. I was so upset. But,
my kid dances the whole time, so
does.
It's fine.
Carter was doing, I was like, are you doing a Jaden? Like, now we're dancing in the middle?
Yeah.
Like, what's going on?
Jaden can't sit still.
They drive me crazy. But that's exactly it. When I saw Jaden, I was like, oh my gosh, it's not just us. This is like the normal. And it was so striking to me exactly what you just said, which was I couldn't believe how I saw that Jaden was so hard on himself the first game.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was the same. It was literally textbook, the same experience. And it is shocking that these kids, you think, okay, 5-year-old, 6-year-old, whatever, they're young kids. They're like, whatever, they're chill.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that they have the wherewithal to be hard on themselves and get upset, especially when they're new and stuff, like it is shocking. Like that shows me like a level of emotional intelligence with them. Mm-hmm. Like they're that hyper aware of themselves and they're hard on themselves at such a young age.
They know what they can probably do. So they're getting frustrated. Like, I know I could do this. Why isn't it just you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're confident in themselves.
And they have expectations of themselves.
Exactly. So they get frustrated. Like, wait, why am I not able to do this? But they don't understand it's the first time. Everything takes practice. Like you don't become an NBA star after day one. Exactly. They practice. And that's what I try to tell Jaden. You have to work towards things to be great at something.
Well, that's the whole thing. And the idea of just getting them to understand that they have to work really hard and be consistent. And that's why I was like, we need to sign. I said to Coach Trey. So our coach at I-9 is Coach Trey, and he's awesome. And he does not take our kids' stuff. Like I love him. He keeps them
puts Jaden in check.
He does not play around. And then we have this ongoing joke about, I'll be like, if Carter's out for some reason, I'll be like, oh, sorry, you're going to miss your star player. Keep in mind, my sweet son has not scored or even attempted a single shot.
He's there. That's all that matters. He's showing up.
So we have a joke. I joke with Coach Trey about, anyway, but the kids have really, just in 6 weeks, again, they understand the concept of team and of which direction they're going and just kind of the overall understanding of the game. And that was my goal. They learned something, even if they still kind of suck. Mm-hmm. It's okay, for now.
Well, and they're only how old?
Literally.
I don't even remember playing sports that young. I think maybe I started softball at 6 years old, but it wasn't competitive. So this is great. The I-9 is a great league to be in because it's not competitive. They don't keep score. So the kids aren't being oh, we lost today, and getting down on themselves.
Yeah, except for we are getting creamed by the 8-year-old team, which is
we know they lost.
Or we got killed. We got crushed.
Except Antonio.
Oh, and Miles. Don't forget Mr. Miles.
Miles too.
Yeah.
Those two star players.
Superstars. And even Colton's doing really well.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. All the kids, Dominic, they're all doing great except our kids, maybe not so much, but they're going to keep showing up. Hey, listen, we learned something about Jaden. This is the other thing that I got to say, when I started the kids in karate, it was so interesting because when you put your kids in sports for the first time, you start to see parts of them emerge that you've never seen before. And again, it can be good or bad. We've kind of highlighted more of the bad, but like Charlotte, I didn't know how competitive she really was. And it's almost to a fault where we have to go the other way. Carter's the opposite. They're totally opposite. But like, I feel like we really saw Jaden and his ability to run. Like he was outpacing those 16-year-olds.
Yeah. That kid, his legs are so long and he just runs. His stride is like perfect. I'm like, wow, track it is. So I asked him, he wants to do track.
He does?
I asked him, so do you want to try track? He goes, what is that? And I was like, well, it's where you run. He goes, so you just run? I go, yeah. He goes, so I don't have to dribble a basketball while running. I go, no, you just run. And he goes, okay, yeah, sign me up. So he's all about it because
he's gonna crush everyone at track.
That kid can run. We were just at Disneyland. And I don't know how he stayed up so late because the whole time he's skipping and running to each ride. And I'm like getting tired at 12 o'clock, like, oh my gosh. And he's still skipping. I'm like, how do you do it? But he just can go all day long. And like Coach Trey would try to be like a punishment. Okay, run. He'd be like, okay. And just be like, is that it? And I'm like, Jaden, you can't say stuff
and then
like
here's
that.
my son, who is like the laziest little guy. Like, with all due respect, I hope I'm not like down. Like, I think my son's the best. We call our sons our boyfriends. Okay. So we're obsessed with our sons. So like, I hope this isn't like so negative, but it's so funny because when they would like get in trouble with coach and then he would punish them. Yeah. Like, Jaden's just like having the time of his life, and
probably
Carter's
liked
pissed.
it. I'm like, this isn't a good form of punishment for Jaden.
And Carter's like, what? I won't even sign up my son for soccer because I already know which way. Like that, I'm not even going through it because I already know he's not gonna have the running. But Jaden, I think, maybe even soccer for him. What do you think?
We tried soccer. I made the mistake because my friend signed her kid up, but he's like almost 2 years older than Jaden. So I signed Jaden up, but Jaden was really young. But because he's so tall, they let him join. This kid was running the opposite direction on the soccer field. I'm having to chase him the whole dang game.
He was like 3.
Yes. And he would just not care. He would be like just standing in the middle of the thing. He would wear my sunglasses on the field. Like, I was just like, we're not doing. No. So maybe when he wants to, I'm right now after basketball, I've learned I'm going to let him decide. And he wanted to do basketball because he heard Carter. So it's not like I forced him into that. I didn't at all. Like, but I'm going to let him choose. So like right now he wants to do track, maybe soccer, but with track, I feel like it'll be great for him because he'll learn how to do certain things because track's very good for every sport. You learn the fundamentals about footwork and certain things. So then he could branch out from there if he chooses to do something different, you know, like, but I'm just trying to go with the flow.
That's what we got to do, moms. Just, I guess the whole reason why I thought it was so important to talk about this is because, like I said, nobody talks about it and it's so emotional. Like, as competitive women, we're athletic women. We are kind of, I don't want to say I'm not a pro athlete or anything, but like,
I'm not either, but
well, you want your child to thrive and do well. And it is painful when your child gets out there and sucks or hates it or is having a tantrum or it hurts. It hurts your mom heart. Like it's like, I've had some really tough times through all of this. And
I've probably cried twice after basketball.
Oh, I believe you.
Because I was just like, why does he not care?
Yeah, why is
he not and why is he not into this? And like,
why is he not Miles?
Yeah, I thought he would be into it because we're a big basketball family, but he's
and
not
think,
into it.
You know what?
It might come later.
It might come later.
And I'm not going to force it. And if it comes later, it comes later. But with his height, he might want to later because it will be something they could use. I don't know.
Yeah. You'll just have to see. And I think so much of the lesson too is like, you really do have to accept your kids for who they are and go with it. And someone told me that a long time ago. And I always try and lean into that and remember it. Like, I desperately would love for Charlotte to be a dancer, but I think she's going to be like, Brian's like, put her in football.
She's going to be a tomboy. She reminds me of me when I was little. She has the competitive.
She is so competitive, that child. I mean, we have to, in karate, oh my gosh, she'll go up against people, and if there's like some competitive thing that they're doing, like they did a flag pulling or a belt pull sparring thing, she went up against like 3 boys and 3 girls, beat everybody 10 rounds, and then one guy that she had already beat pulled her beat her one time out of all 10. Do you think that child was okay? No. Bawling. bawling like she was the like biggest failure.
But she's going to go places in life because of that.
She's going to be a boss.
She is. She's probably going to be a CEO of something.
For sure.
Because she is a boss lady.
She's a boss lady. Carter is like he's going to be the like operations or something where he can deal with people.
Yeah.
Because he's a
really
charmer.
good. Yeah. He's so sweet.
Yeah, he is so sweet with his missing teeth. I hope that one tooth comes in finally. But anyway. Okay, so the other thing I did want to talk to you about was I wanted your opinion about something I had put on my Instagram. And this might be a little bit controversial. So I kind of wanted your opinion about this because I didn't know if I kind of was overly sensitive. But I'm going to set the stage. Okay, because I think this is kind of important, and I'll tell you why I think it's important. So basically, I was listening to one of my favorite podcasts, and it's like a business-oriented podcast. They speak to a lot of entrepreneurs, and Tutor from $1 Million Listing Los Angeles, she's the only female on that show. Speaking of boss ladies, she's a total boss, and I love that. I love seeing like a boss. I think it's so cool. So a conversation came up where basically in the interview, she was asked like, how do you balance it all? How do you have this like big real estate empire? And how are you a mom? And I thought it was it's a great kind of somewhat standard question to ask a working mom. And she kind of said some things that really rubbed me the wrong way. And for those of you that don't know, I used to be like heavily focused on my career. I worked 100-hour weeks. I traveled all over the country working with a 99% male dominated, I was in boardrooms. It was very intense. I worked my butt off to get to that position, made great money. And then motherhood really set in, and I felt like I needed to start making a choice. And so I chose to stay home. And that's been something that I continuously struggle with that decision, because for anyone out there that, I didn't come from money, I finally made a great salary and achieved something and put myself through business school at USC, which is not a trivial thing either. It's hard to kind of face this decision where at what point do you start to put your kids over yourself? And at what point is enough money and all of these kinds of things, right? So, she basically says something that really upset me. She goes, I really struggled for years while my two girls were like in K through 5, she said, and I would have so much guilt. And I got to the point where I had to tell the principal not to email me weekly about the school stuff because it was just making my guilt worse. And she told me that it's my problem and to stop guilting myself and that my kids are fine. And so I finally kind of came to terms with it. And she said, at the same time, there's all these moms that they go in and they spend all their time at the school and they like bring their kids donuts. And she goes, it adds up to nothing. She said, it means nothing. And I sat there. I was hurt. And I also was really upset because it felt like this is an example of women tearing each other down. Mm-hmm. Like, I get that her path is not the same as mine or maybe someone else's, but like, why the nasty comments? And it really hurt me. Like, I don't know. So then I had Ashley listen to it and I wanted to get your thoughts. Like, what, am I being overly sensitive? Be real.
No, I honestly, when I heard it, I started laughing and you came in and you're like, what? She mentioned something about bringing donuts, parents that bring donuts to the school. And I was like, I started laughing because I felt attacked. My kid's birthday was last Friday. I just brought 2 boxes of donuts to the school and a box of donuts for the office. I was like, wow, I am attacked.
That was so nice. In the office? That was so sweet.
I did the office. Because I love the office people. But so I brought them all. So I was like, wow, I feel attacked. But I don't think she shouldn't have taken that approach. She should have said what she wanted about how she felt, but not went and attacked other parents saying, oh, it doesn't mean anything what you do. Because you know what? I think what I do means something. My kid will remember me being around. My kid will remember me showing up to stuff. Some parents can't do it because, yes, they work. I'm fortunate enough to be able to be around, and don't cut those parents down that can do it, because Jaden loves that I'm so involved in the school. When we helped do the Halloween decorations, he loved it. He always brings up stuff like, thank you for doing this. So to me, that's important for me. And I just think it was insensitive for her to bring that up, talking about other parents, because I'm a room mom. So are you. And I love it. I love
moms unite, baby.
Woo!
3 years in the
Should we put basketball room moms?
I'm gonna get a vanity plate.
So anyways, I felt kind of I just think it was insensitive. And I think she should have just said her part and not said stuff about other moms, because like I said, we each choose that. If you choose not to, and I understand some people can't because they are so busy, and that's their own thing. That's okay. We're not judging you for not being around. But don't come and judge us because we want to be involved and we're able to be involved. Like I said, I'm fortunate to be able to.
Well, and I love that you phrased it that way, because that is such a big part of why I've chosen to stay home. So both of my parents were working parents, and my parents worked their asses off to support us. And that's not easy, when I'm sure that my mom had some level of mom guilt, and they did their best, but let's be real. It's a luxury to be able, like you say, to pour into your children and to put them first and to not have to work. That is like a gift. And so, and again, it's not that everyone that can should. Like, we're not sitting here judging. It's just like, I wish that I had that. And my dad, because he was on East Coast hours, so he was around in the afternoons. And I, like you say, like, clearly remember him being around and being a part of my sports. And it really shaped who I am today. Like, he would always encourage me when I was struggling in like sports. And it's a whole mindset. Like, he mentored me my whole life and really shaped who I am. And that mental toughness really started with me in sports and fighting through adversity, as we're seeing our children are struggling with, and we're trying to be there. Like, my dad did that for me. My mom was working. Yeah. Okay. So she was definitely there on the weekends and the mornings and at night, but she would come home and she's making dinner in her suit, like, that's tough. She didn't have the luxury to do that. So yeah, I just feel like, I just didn't appreciate the comments. I was really devastated by them. And part of me thought, we could totally flip the script, and I could go after her and say, well, you came from all this money and you don't even have to work, but you're putting money above your kids. And like, that sucks for your kids. And I find that to be very selfish. And I could totally go on the attack and say nasty shit like that about another woman, but I don't want to do that. The reason why I thought it was important to bring up was not just for my own sake, but it's like, I'm trying to prove a point here and make people think twice about judging so quickly. And especially when people are out there, marching about, women supporting women and, hashtag women supporting women and all this stuff. And then they turn around and they say stuff like that. It's like, we need to do better as women, and the expectation of each other needs to be higher. And so letting those kinds of comments just slide like it's okay, I'm like, no, it's not okay. That really upset me. That really hurt me. And I think that we need to call attention to the fact that, look, as women, we need to be supportive, and being supportive is not just in our speech and in our marching and in our hashtags. It needs to be in action, like as a verb. And the way that you can support other women is by understanding that they have a different set of circumstances, facts, challenges, and whatever their decision is, we need to be supportive and not judging each other. And so I just got really heated about that, but I'm glad that it wasn't just me that got offended by donuts, because I was like, I have to end this podcast because I have to go take a board meeting.
I know. And it's funny that she brought up the emails, because every time we send out emails, like Julie and I'm thinking, do parents get annoyed by us? Because we send out multiple emails, but it's like, oh, well, we're keeping you involved in the school. You might not like it, but at least you're involved. You know what I mean? Like, at least you know what's going on with your kids at the school. You don't have to respond. You don't have to get involved and do what we're doing, but at least you know. I would rather know. If I was too busy and I couldn't be there, I would rather know what's going on. So I would appreciate the emails, but
I think the emails are super annoying when you're overwhelmed. Again, I've come from a job where I was a working mom traveling 100 hours a week across country for years with 2 young kids. So like, I understand both sides of this discussion. I also know what it's like to be at home and kind of working part-time with your kids and how that's not easy. So none of it's easy, but you don't need to participate, and it's an option if you choose to participate. Brian's like, oh, he should have just put it to junk, like, and not said anything, like she shouldn't have started attacking the administration in her school.
Mm-hmm.
But, the other thing is that Lauryn, the other podcast host, made a comment, and she's like, oh yeah, it's almost like the moms are there for each other, not even for their kids.
Yeah, I found that weird.
Well, the thing is that I think that's another thing to talk about is like, okay, let's be real. And this is true. This has really come to the forefront actually after the pandemic, but this is not true just of moms. It's true of the dads too. And what I noticed is, and this is another thing no one talks about. So you go from like being in college, being at work, and it's like highly social. And then all of a sudden you have kids and you are isolated for like at least a good 6 months to a year minimum. Mm-hmm. And then for us, and like you're isolated because you're at home caring for your child, right? It's like so taxing. Anyone that's had a child knows. But then, for us in particular, COVID hits. So now you're almost even more delayed as far as getting back to, socializing. Mm-hmm. So, for the first really 3 years, you're at home with your kids for the most part, unless you're out in the world and you're working. And the thing is that it can be really disorienting for people because you kind of start to lose your network of friends. You lose your identity. Like you're in a place of service. And then all of a sudden, when your kids finally get into school, they're like 5 or 6 and they're finally doing sports. You get to actually see other parents. And it is the most liberating, exciting, fun thing you've done ever. Yeah. It feels like.
Well, I was nervous going into it because that was Jaden's first year at the school this year. So I was nervous going into it. But first day, I think I met you, Cynthia, and Julie. And I was just they were so welcoming and everyone. And I mean, I get where people get that idea of like, they say like, oh, cliquey moms, and like, they're all just there for each other. But I don't feel that. And I feel like we're all there for each other to like be there for each other when we need to talk. It's not like we're going to choose each other over our children. You know what I mean? Like we're there just for our kids, but yeah, they're there too. So we're going to be with each other talking, of course. And it's good to have that community of people to be able, you relate to. You talk about stuff that happens at the school. You talk about what the kids are doing. Our kids are becoming friends. So why shouldn't we be friends?
Totally. It's that community. And that's exactly what I was getting at is like, we've all been trapped at home with our kids, and even more so because of COVID. And it's like, what's wrong with having a support network and a community? And listen, I sense from going back to the Tracy comment, like in Brian and I, because I made Brian listen to it. I'm like, am I being oversensitive? And it's like, I almost feel like there's anger that she carries there. Like she even said how much she struggled. It's like she was projecting and Brian was like, well, she doesn't really understand the community part of it because she's not in it. She doesn't really get what the kids are doing and like what we're contributing to the kids in the community because she's not really a part of it.
Well, I think and I think she carries probably some guilt for not being around because I know if I miss one thing, I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel guilty. Mm-hmm. So maybe it's her guilt that's added up and then she's taking it out on other people, which is wrong. But that might be her way to deal with it and not blame herself, so she kind of
projects.
Mm-hmm. So it could be that. I don't know. We don't know how people think, but it's just, I think she went about it the wrong way.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's why I always try and understand. I come from a place of understanding too, right? It's like, look, parts of her are hurting is what I think. And that is perfectly acceptable. I just would have rather her say it's really hard and I carry a lot of guilt and there's no easy answer, but I'm very driven and it's important for me to go after my dreams and to be that example. Like she could have just said that or something,
And then they all started attacking moms at the school. I was like, wow, might be that mom.
Thank you for talking about us. We hear you. The mic is on.
I don't regret it at all. I love doing what I do.
We love being room moms.
I love it. I love
basketball moms.
We're making gingerbread houses next week. Like, come on.
I'm here for it.
Like, I love that stuff. Like, and my mom was a single mom of 3 kids. Wow. So, and I remember her being at every sports event I had. Like, I don't even know now, thinking back to it, now that I'm older, how did she do it? She worked full time, but she never missed a game, even away games. she would be at. And I'm like, how did she manage that? And it's just, that's why it's so important. Like, yeah, I'm a stay-at-home mom right now, but I do want to start eventually, like I was telling you, start a business. But they, how my mom did it is like why I'm so involved in Jaden's school, but my mom was never in the classroom, obviously, because she was working, but I just want to be as involved, if not more, because I know how important it was to me that she was always there. So I think it just is kind of like a domino effect. And seeing how happy it makes Jaden, of course I'm going to want to be around.
Totally.
So don't let parents make you feel like you shouldn't do things, because do what you feel that you think is right.
Absolutely.
And will make your kid happy.
And we're obsessed with our little men. Like,
he's my boyfriend.
No, literally.
I'm not allowed to date according to him because he's the only man I need. So.
Oh my gosh. I love our boyfriends. We have the cutest boyfriends ever.
Yes.
They're like brothers.
They are. They're like, especially with Charlotte, they're like siblings. I swear they just play rough. I'm like, oh my gosh, Dan, you're going to hurt somebody.
I straight up because it was Mr. Jaden's birthday last week, by the way. I can't believe it. He's 6. That's crazy.
It's so sad.
That's so sad. I'm so sorry for you.
I was like, no.
It hurts your mom's heart.
I was crying the whole night before looking at pictures of him being little and videos. And I was just bawling on my couch. I'm like, stop crying. But I'm like, it's just so sad because you can't stop the time with them, and they just keep getting bigger and bigger. And
thank goodness you're bringing donuts and making memories with him, because you're not getting that time back. You know what I'm saying?
One day he'll be in high school like, no, you're not bringing donuts to school, Mom. So for now, I'm bringing all the donuts and cupcakes I can, because this is when it matters.
I support that 100%. I support it. Yeah. But gosh, I do love our little men. And, I think that it's just fascinating. It's so hard being a mom, but it's such a gift. And it's fascinating to see them grow up, like to truly, you hear that, but like to watch them, like, I don't know, even just watching our kids learning basketball, like it's not a big deal, but it's like just to watch that evolution. And I'm so glad that I didn't miss how far they've both come in just such a short time. And
the improvement each week.
Yeah.
It's gone.
No, it's insane. And we're saying this, and then our kids are going to go get crushed tonight. The last game.
You know what? It's the last game. Let's just get through this. I don't even care at this point.
I wish I could drink with you.
Should I bring like a White Claw in my cup?
Listen, no judgment. I am a judgment-free mom. Whatever you need to do, as long as you're safe. If you're not safe, I'll give you a ride.
No, I will not drink at my child's game. But
I'm not promising that in the future. I'm just letting you know. I'm just not drinking because I'm pregnant.
Hopefully Jaden will want to do basketball again, because it would be fun to continue it. But
you'll see.
I notice he does better at private lessons though. And he learns more through that, because I feel like it's more he gets to focus. Because I think when he's with so many people, he's like trying to be fun, because I swear he's going to be like a class clown. But he literally doesn't stop. And where he's on a one-on-one, especially with Coach Trey, he's more like he focuses and he actually can get stuff down. So I've noticed the improvement with those. So I'm hoping even if we don't do basketball season, we could keep doing a couple practices here and there just to get him.
Come on Tuesdays. I'm doing like semi-privates.
I'm down.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to ask Jaden if he's down. I'm not going to
just throw in Carter. I'm going to throw in Jaden's name if he's there.
Okay. I'll tell Jaden he's coming. He'll be like, okay, let's go. Like this kid just wants to be with friends all day long. We get right out of school. Okay, what friend am I playing with today? I'm like, you just got out of school. Like, we're not playing with friends today. Like, we need to chill and just take a day off.
He's a social guy.
He is. He has to be around people all the time.
Hey,
like, he got mad. It was just him and I at Disneyland. He was like, why is it just me and you? I'm like, wasn't that fun? Like, but he ended up I thought it was so great to be just him and I at Disneyland, because it was a bonding experience. It was just us. We did what he wanted. We spent 2 hours at Disney Animation in California Adventure drawing for 2 hours.
Really?
He was just drawing.
Wow.
Over and over. So
would you say drawing?
Drawing. Yeah. How are we supposed to drawing? Drawing. Drawing. But I said it like with an accent. I don't even have an accent.
That is so hilarious. Can you tell me, what were you doing for 2 hours with Jaden again at Disney?
Drawing.
Oh yeah. See, But you said drawing.
Drawing. Yeah. Drawing. I don't know. Maybe like Chicago. I don't know. But drawing for 2 hours at this animation thing. And he like drew this amazing picture of Luca, like figured out how to draw Luca.
Really?
And we were there for 2 hours. The kid didn't even want to go on rides. We went on maybe 5 rides the whole day.
Really?
He just wanted to go this kid was like, let's go to different stores. I'm like, you don't need any more dang toys.
NFT that. You should do an NFT.
What is that?
Non-fungible token. You can do like digital art and start selling it for millions of dollars. It's all the rage right now.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm going to make Jaden do it.
Yeah.
Jaden can make money.
Yeah.
He's into that
Get
stuff.
him to work. If he's not going to make money in basketball for
I didn't
us.
know that was it. I've seen it on Instagram, but I'm like, I don't even know what this is. I just see like the kind of odd looking cartoon characters or whatever.
Yeah, it's like digital art, and they have it on the blockchain so that it's essentially like they make it so that each piece is unique, like kind of like a real artist. I don't know. I don't fully get it, but I kind of get it.
Because I see everyone like all like the famous people are putting it out there.
Yeah, because they're making money. It's like,
really?
Yeah. So
it's like the new Bitcoin or whatever.
It's like, yeah, people are playing with crypto and NFTs and all that good stuff. So how are you feeling now? Are you still feeling drunk? I'm kidding. Are you feeling nervous?
Fine. No, I'm not nervous. I love to talk. I talk probably too much. So this is probably right up my alley.
It is right up your alley. And we're not going to talk about how I got canceled by our eyelash girl. Ashley's giving me the side eye with her lashes. Yeah.
My eyelash girl too.
I got canceled by my eyelash girl. Supposedly she's too busy now, but I don't know. I'm going to have to shout out to you, Summer. I know you want to be my friend, Summer. I know you love my lashes.
Bring her back. Let her in. Just keep chanting.
Oh my God, I'm going to make Summer listen to this and be like, if this isn't pressure, I just shouted you out on my podcast. Okay.
She does the best lashes, everyone.
She does. She does the best lashes. And I went to her for like, I don't know, at least a year and a half, I think more like 2. And then I took them off. And then now I'm like, I really am so jealous of Ashley's gorgeous lashes.
She probably just sees mine all the time and is like,
I like look at them every day and I'm like, I need to get my lashes back on. And so I reached out to Summer and she's like, I'm too busy. Like in a very nice, sweet Summer way. She was like, my schedule's full. And I said to Ashley, I think I just got canceled by our lash girl. And Ashley's like, I'm not going to talk about this because I don't want to get canceled by our lash girl either. So
I'm dedicated.
Yeah, we're committed to the vibe. Like we're committed, Summer. We're your biggest fans. So just please.
We're hyping you up on a podcast.
Yeah, help our girl. Help your girl out. I mean, come on. We love you. So anyway, okay. Well, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. And I have to do a shout out to Jaden because he heard your shout out.
Please.
And literally was like, thought he was famous.
He is.
So Jaden, I love you. And I'm excited for you to hear this.
Oh, Jaden, I love you too. Thank you for doing basketball with Carter.
He's like, can I do it with Carter, a podcast? That'd be cute to set them up just to talk about whatever.
They should. I mean,
just have fun.
They should.
I mean, we don't have to post it, but because you don't know what they're going to, probably a bunch of like farts and stuff.
Yeah, they're going to make all the boy poop, potty jokes, all the things, you know. But we should have them do it. Yeah. They would love it.
He's going to think I'm famous now because he heard you and he's like, wait, that's his mom. And I was like, yeah. He's like, wow.
Really?
Yeah. He's going to think I'm famous.
Oh, no, because I gave him a shout out on our last episode because it was his birthday. We were going to go take him out and everything. So I love your little man, Jaden, and I love you. And thank you for being my basketball mom friend and my room mom friend, my eyelash friend. And now we have to go eat because it's our girlfriend Julie's birthday 2 days ago. We need to go feed that wonderful soul of a woman and go enjoy
celebrate her.
Yes, honey.
Well, thank you for having me. It was really fun. Bring me back whenever.
Oh my gosh. I would love to have you back whenever. So I'll see you next week. Okay, bye, girl.
Bye.
All right. That is it for today. Now, as you know, some of our best conversations actually happen after the show. So I want you to find me on Instagram at Kimberly Lovey and let me know your thoughts about today's show. You can screenshot this episode and let us know what your biggest takeaway was and tag me at Kimberly Lovey and we can share it on our stories. I will see you again, same time, same place next week.